All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, John.
On behalf of the Town of Bolton, thank you so much for coming out on such a cold day, and welcome to Bolton. I welcome you on behalf of the Select Board, Chairman Bob Sikansky, who you'll be hearing from later, Select Board Member Jonathan Keefe, and Select Board Member Stanley Wysocki. We're going to keep this very brief for obvious reasons. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce someone with whom I've worked very closely during my 13 years here. Representative Kate Hogan is in her 7th term as State Representative for the 3rd Middlesex District. Recently named Speaker Pro Tempore, a member of Speaker Mariano's leadership team. She works as a bridge between House leadership and members to tackle the state's biggest issues, and there's no doubt about that. In past terms, Representative Hogan served as House Division Leader, House Chair of the Joint Committee on Public Health, and a co-chair of the Elder Caucus, where she was instrumental in shepherding landmark public health legislation into law. We'd like to thank Rep. Hogan for writing her letter of support to the MassWorks grant, $938,000 that came from Secretary Keneally's office, and for securing our earmark in 2021 ARPA spending that made today and this project possible. It's my pleasure to introduce Representative Kate Hogan.
Good morning, everyone. If you want to jump around a little, there we go. We're good. Thank you, everyone, first and foremost, every single one of you, for being here in this cold weather. But we're here today to celebrate the power of partnership at every level of government, federal, state, and local, because together we're more powerful than any single office. Because together we funded essential projects that will revitalize an important area of Bolton. Because together we delivered $1.3 million in funding for critical infrastructure projects and improvements. And together we're building a resilient community for future generations. This Forbush Mill Road Corridor Revitalization Project, does everybody want to say that? Is about more than just repairing culverts or improving an intersection. Because together we're helping a community implement the principles of smart growth, adapt to climate change, and integrate resilient infrastructure improvements to support long-term growth and sustainability. Through careful planning and zoning, Bolton has been designated as a housing choice community, and to continue to support the increase in housing and population will protect its rural character while assisting in its growth. Last June, Bolton applied for a 2021 MassWorks infrastructure grant for the final design and construction of a modern roundabout to improve safety. We know where it is. This project will improve road safety for the students, the teachers and staff at Neshoba, and also all of the drivers, whether they're local or regional. The MassWorks grant is critical to the success of Bolton's safety and infrastructure improvements, and I'd like to thank personally, and for everyone here, Secretary Keneally and all those with the EOHED, as well as the Baker-Polito Administration for that particular grant. So thank you so much. This new culvert will meet DEP requirements and provide safe passage for fish and amphibians in a cold water stream. I had to leave that in no matter what. It was so exciting. Improve water quality and ensure structural issues are addressed. The new culvert will prevent washouts, and we know how dangerous those are. And having to explain that during a budget session is always really interesting when you're talking to people from Boston, etc. I am proud to have worked with our federal delegation, Congresswoman Trahan, Senator Markey, and Warren, to make this project possible. Thank you all so very much. Personally from me to you. Altogether, this rural community will receive $1.3 million in funds from its partners in government. Let me end by sharing the words of Bolton Conservation Agent Rebecca Longbow, that the success of this project will help produce more resilient landscapes in Bolton while protecting and ensuring community services for generations to come. We are grateful for the team here and for the community who've contributed to create a more resilient Bolton. Congratulations, everyone. This is transformative. Yay! And now, excuse me, folks, I have the great pleasure of introducing Congresswoman Laurie Trahan, who proudly represents Bolton as well as 36 other cities and towns that make up the 3rd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Laurie was born and raised in Lowell. I love Laurie. She is a worker bee. She gets things done. She's awfully smart, and I am delighted to welcome her here today. Congresswoman Trahan.
So I can strike, thank you, Representative Hogan, for that wonderful introduction, because I'm watching all of you, and I know brevity is going to be rewarded. But no, seriously, thank you so much to Representative Hogan. I'm tremendously grateful for your relentless commitment and leadership representing the communities that we both serve. And beyond that, I'm able to call her a trusted partner, someone I go to with lots of questions. And a dear friend. And as Don said, Speaker Pro Tem, Kate Hogan has so much responsibility up at the State House in terms of all the issues that are affecting Massachusetts, but I'll tell you one thing she never loses sight of: understanding the priorities of the communities that she represents and bringing her federal partners and her local partners into the mix to get things done, whether that's economic development, infrastructure, just improving the quality of life for folks. So Kate, thank you. It's been a joy. Thank you as well to Town Manager Lowe for inviting us all here today. I vowed in the new year to get outside more and achieve that today. But also convening us around the issues that are most important to the folks in Bolton. I know how important projects like this one are to him and to this community, and it's why I wasn't the least bit surprised when he jumped on a convening with mayors and town managers of the 3rd District just earlier this month for a discussion on the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. I could see him taking notes on all the pots of money that he's going to apply. And finally, I want to thank all my colleagues in state and local government who are here this morning for your continued partnership and conviction in tackling the important issues that affect families, our seniors, our small businesses, both here in Bolton and in the surrounding communities. So look, last March I was proud to vote for the American Rescue Plan, we call it ARPA, not only because it got much needed relief to our families and our small businesses who were struggling to make ends meet, but also because Congress desperately needed to provide our local communities funding to revitalize and strengthen their economies, many of which continue to struggle due to the soaring costs of the pandemic. And over the last year, the Biden administration has worked with state and local governments to distribute $1.9 trillion in funding for ARPA throughout our country, $8.7 billion just to here in Massachusetts. That is a historic investment. And so today, I'm so excited to join my colleagues in announcing the $400,000 of funds that Congress passed in ARPA and Representative Hogan successfully earmarked to be used to replace the culvert on Forbush Mill Road, and which will overall help support the quality of that intersection. And I don't have to get into what the culvert's going to do. I also have word in my talking points because my daughter asked me this morning, when's the last time you even said that word? But clearly this, along with the substantial MassWorks grant that Secretary Keneally will speak about, is a significant investment in infrastructure for this town of 5,600 people. And this collaboration of federal, state, and local officials, the advocating, investing, it's so important. It's really what makes Massachusetts successful. It's one of the things that the governor said in his final State of the Commonwealth speech, but it's really a model for us going forward. Okay, one of the things I just wanted to also press upon everyone that's here, bringing this funding home to Bolton is exactly what we had in mind when we passed the ARPA bill, but I'm also pleased, and you know, Bolton directly got $1.6 million in ARPA funding to cover a range of projects. But we're not stopping there. You know, beyond that, even more funds are on the way for Bolton, and you'll expect to see significant funding coming in from the bipartisan infrastructure law, whether it's fixing roads and bridges, weatherizing our homes and our businesses, or improving our water infrastructure. Millions more in funding are on the way. So I look forward to working with everyone here to make sure that the impact of those funds are leveraged and maximized so that every Bolton resident benefits, just like we're able to do here today for this project. So thanks again for having me. And now it is my pleasure to introduce.
You can keep it. Gonna follow your lead.
To introduce Secretary Keneally.
In 1967.
I will tell you this, as Secretary of Housing and Economic Development, Mike Keneally advances the Baker-Polito Administration's agenda to create economic opportunity and new housing for residents across our state. His department oversees the MassWorks program that granted Bolton more than $900,000 in grant money for this infrastructure project, which he'll speak about right now. So please join me in welcoming Secretary Keneally.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Great to be here with you and the representative and town leadership. I've been doing this job for a little over 3 years now, and one of the best aspects of this role is getting out into our cities and towns and hearing the stories about how important these projects are, and watching town leadership, municipal leadership put to work the funds that we get from the federal government or appropriated from the state legislature that we get to award, and put those towards projects that are really important for them and their vision for where they want to go as a community. And the funds that we allocated today come from our MassWorks infrastructure program. We've made 56 awards this year, $66 million. We've awarded $600 million in MassWorks since the start of the Baker-Polito administration. And people ask, well, what does MassWorks fund? Funds. Well, it funds infrastructure, it funds roads and sewers and water and streetscapes. What it really funds, in a lot of ways, is community vision and community collaboration. Because the way the program is designed, it lets the community come together and designate a project that they feel is really important for their future. And they come to us, and we get to fund it. It's pretty cool, right? We're cool. But no, it's a wonderful program. It's the largest, most flexible tool we have in the Economic Development Toolkit, and therefore probably the most powerful. And I'm so pleased to be here today to announce this award. We are always trying to be the best, most engaged, most responsive partner we can be for our 351 cities and towns. In that spirit, we took MassWorks and combined it this year with 12 other programs and created the Community One Stop for Growth. And we realized over the course of time we had MassWorks and all these other great programs to help fund our community vision across the state. And we realized they all had different applications, different criteria, different timelines. There was a lot of complexity in terms of how we delivered these programs. And we thought, let's combine all these. Let's put them all together. And so there's a single front door to now 13 programs where we have a lot more collaboration, a lot more consultation built into the process. So hopefully year 2 of the One Stop will be as efficient as year 1 was, and we look forward to funding more projects like this. I'll close my brief remarks sort of where Representative Hogan started, this theme of collaboration. You know, we have been through an unbelievably challenging time these last 22 months, right? It's been tough for all of us. In so many ways, what it has demonstrated, though, is what is special and unique about Massachusetts. The collaboration of government at all levels, federal, state, local, executive branch and legislature, everybody coming together to solve the hardest problems we've ever had to solve, right? And also advancing important opportunities, trying to keep our citizens safe, try to battle a pandemic, try to keep our economy open safely. We've all done a lot together, and we'll continue to do a lot together. And I know coming out of this pandemic, with all the collective will and creativity and collaboration we have, we're going to continue to drive incredibly robust and equitable economic recovery. So it's great to be here with you all today. Congratulations to the town.
Thank you very much, Secretary Keneally.
Yes. See ya.
So, I promise we'll be wrapping soon. But while we've got Secretary Keneally here, I'd like to point over there to that intersection. That was our first Mass Works grant.
So they're gonna pitch me on the next one.
That's over coffee. That was $1 million grant that we brought in on budget and a year ahead of schedule.
All right, nice to hear.
And we're gonna do the same with the next one. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Before I do, I would just like to say, to carry on with the theme of partnership, $1.3 million coming to a community such as ours is not only significant, some might say historic. I believe this is the largest sum of money we've ever received at one time in the town of Bolton, and there will be more to come. Next, I would like to introduce the chairman of the Bolton Select Board, Bob Sikansky.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome to Bolton Representative Hogan, Congresswoman Trahan, and Secretary Keneally. Thank you very much for being here. It is unusual for a small town such as Bolton to be the beneficiary of such a large grant, $938,000, and an earmark, $400,000. So on behalf of the town of Bolton, I would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for this. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to celebrate with us. This will be a transformative change to the town as a whole. Thank you very much.
Continuing with our theme of partnership, which we all feel very strongly about, I would like to introduce the superintendent for the Neshoba Regional School District, Mr. Kirk Dunn.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that, and thank you for the invitation. It's my honor to be here with Representative Holden, Congresswoman Trahan, and Secretary Keneally, and of course, Mr. Sikansky and Mr. Lowe. We've established strong partnerships since I began my tenure just this July 1st. My first conversation with local officials was with Don Lowe, my first day on the job, just this past summer. So I guess the remarks I wanted to bring to you all today is in terms of as we know, all politics are local, as they say. And as the Congresswoman explained, as the representative explained, those dollars that are coming to us now, it's my job and Mr. Lowe's job to pragmatically bring it to our students. So I'm going to pragmatically tell you about the impact of what this project is. But in order to do that, I do want to stray for just a moment and offer my personal gratitude to Representative Holden. Representative Holden was instrumental in getting the waiver for our high school students to participate in the EMT program at the age of 16 and a half. This program is a model program and really the beacon program at our Neshoba Regional High School. And it has taken many of our community leaders into lives of service, of public service, that we value so greatly. So I cannot thank you enough for that effort. And the pragmatic connection to the project of which we're speaking about today is, as we all know, 117 doesn't just serve the town of Bolton. It serves Stowe, it serves Lancaster, as our students are coming to school each and every day. It serves Clinton, it serves Leominster, it serves Fitchburg, as our employees commute back and forth across our towns. Spending a lot of time in New Hampshire, for years I drove down 117 on our way to the cottage. Well, one of the things that we know about that area is particularly in safety for our EMT program. They have to move quickly. And one of the concerns over the years has been about transportation. And I'm so happy to say that with the traffic study involved here, with the ability for us to now traverse that intersection safely, we are going to be able to address some of the concerns that have been barriers to that program in the past. So pragmatically, it's going to make things safer. And I have to tell you, having observed the driver education courses at Neshoba Regional High School, I am so glad our students are going to learn how to properly drive a traffic circle as they move into their adult lives. So again, can't thank all of you for helping us out here locally. It is going to make the educational experience in the Neshoba Regional School District a better and safer experience for all of us. So thank you.
Again, on behalf of the town, I'd like to thank you all for braving the elements and joining us today in this celebration. Welcome. We have hot coffee. It was hot when it got here. And guaranteed we have ice water over there. So, thank you all very much for coming. We'll see you next year at our next celebration.